TikTok because this is all a mess. I'm just a mess, and I'll be that way for the next few days. This I'm convinced about, but I'm going to live with it. You know, I'm cool. Right now it says I have an excellent live broadcast going on. So who knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't. But Angela, we're live, by the way.
Welcome.
How are you? And for anyone who wants to join us on YouTube so far, it says things are excellent. Right now we have nobody here. Yay! I'm alone. I'm alone. Okay. Who we got here? Who's showing up? Delicate's here. Delicate, what's going on? I don't know, but it says that the live on is going great. Oh, do I not have the light on? I think I do. So you can check it out on YouTube if you like, if you're capable, if you're able. I don't know if you're able to.
Can you turn your phone?
Turn my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, to get to capture the whole, all this stuff.
All the glory.
Oh my goodness.
Of your bookcase.
It has been. I'm angry about the dumb letter.
This is Delicate says, I'm angry about that dumb letter Brian Friedman wrote in response to the Taylor Swift's motion to quash.
Oh, can you read it, Angela? Because I don't even know what you're talking about, because I've just been busy trying to make this stupid stream work. I think I got closer today. But what's up? What's up, Leo Edits? What's going on? By the way, Leo Edits, just in case you don't know, we're live on... Yeah, I told you this yesterday, right? You know this. We're live on YouTube. I think the stream is going really well. So if you want to see Angela's smiling face, that's the place. All right, guys. Oh, you don't know what I've been through. It's been such a long day. I didn't stop today, Angela.
I know.
It's been like that all day.
Mm-hmm.
Just screaming crazy, and I didn't get to prepare for the live at all.
Well, you did by creating it. You were working to create it. So yeah, you did prepare.
I hope everyone will go to listen. So as soon as I get this running excellent, I'm probably going to stop streaming until I get to either 10,000 on TikTok. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to finish the week on TikTok for sure. But this is definitely all about going onto YouTube and getting it down to. And eventually I'll be able to hopefully just throw a stream key in, and then I'll be able to do TikTok at the same time. Yes. Delicate is on. Hello, Delicate. I don't know why I'm typing. I shouldn't be typing. Hi, Delicate. The stream's good.
It is kind of a satisfying sounding keyboard. I really feel like you're breaking into the mainframe every time you type on that keyboard.
What's exciting about that is that I am planning, because now I have this set up, right? I'm doing this whole thing that I've never done before. Well, I'm going to set up my laptop. I'm going to set up not my laptop. I'm going to set up my my writing, and I'm going to do tutorials on how I edit, for example. Excuse me. So how I self-edit, maybe even drafting. I don't know. I'm going to have a lot of fun. So come and join us over on YouTube. Don't let Delicate be alone, please.
Leo Edits has informed us that Leo is at Cannes and looks very fancy.
Well, he's got all the money in the world, and despite his ham-headedness, is still a good-looking guy. Are
you body shaming DiCaprio?
No, I'm saying that his head expanded. You know what I mean? I've looked at my own head and asked, why hasn't mine expanded the way that Leo's has?
I think mine is. I think I'm ham-heading.
You're not ham-heading.
No, you're
not. But why would you put that in the universe? I'm not saying that ham-heading is a disability or anything.
I just think, sometimes people age and they ham-head, and it's not really within their control.
I don't think I have your LUT on right now, which is driving me a little nuts. So sorry if Angela's a little flat on you guys. I think I must have moved the LUT somewhere else, and now I got to deal with it. That's tomorrow's project. Anyway, yeah. Well, his head expanded. Leo edits. You have to have noticed. He was a very thin, faced, almost boy, though he was 20 plus in Titanic. Very thin, very fine bone structure. Now he looks like, like it really did. It widened, don't you think? It got wider. His face got wider. I should drink. I'm getting told by my producer to drink. Oh my God, the thing is running excellent right now.
Sweet. You fixed it.
What's not excellent is that we only have Delicate there, so we've got to get...
Well, that's okay.
We only have 3 people here, period. And so there you go.
She's just warming up the dance floor.
Working on some Swifties.
Hey, what? She's just warming up the dance floor.
She's warming up the dance floor.
That's right.
I don't have your LUT on. I guess I screwed up the path to the LUT. If you don't know what LUT is, by the way, just this is actually a little bit of a filmmaking term.
So you're saying that I look terrible? Is that what you're telling me?
No, the image is flat. I don't have any color because I don't have the LUT.
I'm also wearing this too, so that probably doesn't help.
And I don't know why there is no LUT. It's a little bit weird. You'd think there would be.
Tanner is so sad because you and him can't catch a break for hockey right now.
It's driving me crazy, isn't it? Isn't it awful? No, the LUT is applied. Close. Yeah, dude. Connor Hellebuyck, man. He's the best goalie in hockey. Where are you, Tanner? Tanner, come over to YouTube, will you? Come over to YouTube, because I'm going to talk to the camera over at YouTube. I'm going to talk to the YouTube camera. So anyway, Connor Hellebuyck, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? He's like the best goalie in statistically. He's going to be the Vezina winner, which is the best goalie in hockey. I know you love this topic. And
no, I like hockey.
Angela's favorite topic.
I don't know who any of these people are, but I like hockey.
He's the goalie for the Winnipeg Jets. He also was the goalie for the American. He's also the American goalie for their national team, and he's the best goalie in hockey. But during the regular season, he is not the best player in hockey. He's not the best player in hockey in the playoffs, and it's really fucking depressing. He's I think it's 0-for-6 on the road in the playoffs. Cannot win a game. Lets in all these very questionable and easy goals, and I'm so sad. I can't even tell. I've definitely had just a tough day all day when it comes to dealing with my sports sadness and that's the thing, you get the highs, right? The fucking Eagles are the Super Bowl champions, and the Dallas Cowboys are going to be visiting them on game number 1. They'll watch that banner, and it was something they haven't experienced since we were practically children.
When is that?
September something. I don't know.
You're already excited?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Hey, Jenna.
Yeah, Danielle is at look, man, the YouTube Live is streaming. How's it look, guys? Does YouTube Live look all right? Tell me in the comments if you guys are digging the YouTube Live look. We have many updates today, by the way. I didn't make a Diddy thumb yet because just tomorrow will be more more graphics works, because today was all technical, and I moved the modem. I updated everything. I updated every camera. I updated the system. I updated the drivers within the system. I mean, you don't know the work I have done. And we have an excellent stream happening right now, and I'm so fucking excited about it. Ow!
Congrats.
I'm going to party. I'm so excited. Because I want to say, I say what's on my mind, And yeah, I don't know how you get viewers on YouTube. I'll just have to do dances and the nude, I guess. You can't be nude, can you, on YouTube?
You could probably be a little nude. Did I ever tell you the story about when I found my YouTube doppelganger and she was nude? Did I ever tell you that?
Really?
Oh no, it's a really fun story.
Well, do you
want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear all about it. This is Angela's nude doppelganger.
Okay, so I was working at the coffee shop that I met you at, Bourgeois Pig.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And then, because he was sitting at the counter having coffee, it's a lot like a bar. It was like an espresso bar, like a sober person's bar. So he was sitting at the bar, and he asked my name, and he was like, "Well, let me look you up on social media or something." And he looked me up on YouTube, and I had no YouTube presence. I still don't have any YouTube presence. But he, until today, because of you, Dale, But he
You are on YouTube.
he looked me up and he was like, "Oh yeah, I found your channel." I was like, "Well, obviously it's not my channel."
Oh, really?
But my name is a really common name in Brazil.
That's fun.
Maybe Portugal too, but definitely there's a lot of
Carvalho.
There's a lot of people with my last name, and I have a common first name too. And so, but this channel had my first and last name, and it was all these videos of this lady. Apparently her husband had created a channel, and it was all like ass worship videos.
Ah, sweet.
I know. So the whole time she's like dancing with her tiny little postage stamp bikini and like posing poolside, and the whole thing is like all videos of her like posing with her arched butt and her ass and everything. And I was like, well, it could be worse, because she actually looked really good, and it was very, very obvious it was not me.
Yeah. But you said it was a doppelganger.
Well, yeah, just because.
Oh, you mean the butt wasn't yours? Is that
Yeah,
what you
he
mean?
was like, "Oh, I found your channel," and he was like, "Whoa." It wasn't me.
Because you're sitting there in a fucking coffee shop.
If you look at her for like 2 seconds, you can tell she's much more shapely than I am. I just thought that was funny.
You're hard on yourself.
Could be worse. It's funny because you have a Dale Wheatley on. Is it on YouTube also, or just all the other socials?
There's
a Dale Wheatley who's got a business, and he's like face forward.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
no, the Dale Wheatley that is a writer.
Is he a writer?
Yes, he writes
accounting books, right?
No, like
What is
investment, like how to invest books.
See, could be worse. Could be worse.
I could be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got DaleWheatley.com. Drives me fucking crazy every day. It doesn't drive me crazy every day, but it makes me want to be driven crazy every day.
Yeah, maybe you could contact him. Maybe he'll give it up. Maybe he's ready to.
If you're joining us on TikTok, please consider checking us out on YouTube right now. You can find us by looking for @2RealLive, or you can type in Dale Wheatley, and I think that'll help. There's a link in my bio that'll take you right to my channel. It'll take you to my website, and then that'll take you to my channel. I will put my YouTube link on the TikTok.
Do they let you do that?
Yeah, they do. I'm sorry I haven't done that.
Here's a question from the TikTok chat.
Okay.
Hey, it's Addie is asking.
Hi, Addie.
Are you the guy on the documentary about that movie that Leonardo banned?
I am him. I am he. I am it. I am that. I am them. How are you? Very nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. Yes, I've really, in that documentary, if you watch the whole thing, then at the end, Leonardo DiCaprio called me a liar and a thief. And so I fucking wrote a book in response. It's right there. It's called Too Real, a Hollywood Memoir. And and then I created off screen. You can hear Angela. She's not off screen on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, you can see Angela, and she's quite lovely. Just
stop it.
Anyway, and then we created this little Too Real podcast that we've been kind of pissing around with for a little while, and we're now kind of getting more official with it. So welcome. I hope you'll follow, and check us out on YouTube, where it's more of like where sort of where this is headed. This little thing we're doing, and what we do now is just look. As you know, if you saw the documentary, then you know that I was embroiled in a big lawsuit, and so it just allows me to provide at least a little a filmmaker's perspective who's been through similar things. Like, for example, whether it's Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, or now Lively and Justin Baldoni and others, of course. Even P. Diddy, though that's a criminal trial, there's still I can still at least offer some insight, including well, not maybe not on the criminal side. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, stick around. We have fun. We really do.
Hey, it's Addie. Added a comment.
Yeah.
Because I watched the documentary, and I was kind of confused about that Todd guy.
Yeah.
Because I actually read your book, and he is not really mentioned. So what is he on about?
Thank you for reading the book. My God, you're so cool. I feel embarrassed just going off like that. Well, the guy was around for a couple of hours. Like, that's what I feel like it. There was like a 2-week period at the beginning, because I guess he had written the first 20 pages of the screenplay on which Don's Plum is based, called The Saturday Night Club. So I guess he had partnered with David Stutman on that. And I remember that at the time, though vaguely, because I never spent any fucking time with the guy or that stupid screenplay of theirs, frankly. And I guess I'm just being agitated by, using that verbiage. But he had nothing to do with Don's Plum, and he had no business being in the documentary about it. And when Stephen Greenstreet, the director, came to me and asked me to be a part of this documentary, I said, yeah, I'll do it. And when he told me that he'd gotten a hold of and was going to interview Todd Beckman, I was like, well, why? The guy's got nothing to contribute. And I don't know, like, he just talked about shit that made no sense. He said stuff that wasn't true. Like, for example, he said that greed was a factor for us, that we had somehow had become greedy with opportunity. And that's just absolutely false. It flies in the face of the actual facts, where Leonardo DiCaprio's agents were trying to get us to release the movie after Titanic so we could capitalize on Titanic and get the most money from it. These were Leo's agents advising us to do that, and we were like, no, we don't want to do that. We wanted to release in the summer of 1997 on our own because we wanted Don's Plum to stand up for itself. It was never meant to be a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, as you know, because you've read the book. It was meant to be an ensemble movie, and we were actually fighting to protect that. And so Todd Beckman is just kind of a fraud who, like, and I'm calling him that. Well, first of all, this is my opinions are my own, and this is for entertainment purposes only. And the fucking guy shouldn't have opened his mouth at all. He had nothing to say. He had no value to add. And him. And the idea that he owns if he truly does own any copyright to Don's Plum, then he owes me money, and I'm going to go get it. And if he burned that negative, then he's going to be liable, because that negative is the property that
that you're entitled to exploit.
Well, not just entitled to exploit, but it was the property that I used as my means for compensation. I did not take a salary. I only took a back end on the fucking movie. So they have a fiduciary duty, whomever it may be, that has any rights to that movie. They have a fiduciary duty. And we have a guy who comes by here a lot. He hasn't been around in a couple of days. He wrote me. I meant to write him back, but it's one of those fucking days. But he's a wonderful dude from the UK. Stefan, and he told me about it playing on one of your big channels in the UK just the other day, like a couple weeks ago. So somebody's getting paid, and it's not me or anybody else that I know of that deserves to get paid. Anyway, thank you for your question. Oh my God, we have 6 viewers on YouTube. I'm thrilled.
Leo Edit says,
I'm so excited right now. I love you guys.
Leo Edit said, Todd Beckman is not kind. David Stepman also. Todd wants to burn Don's Plum also. That is not nice.
Yeah, it's true. It's not nice.
I agree. It's not nice.
What's up, you guys? Be sure to check us out on the YouTube channel at 2RealLive. We're live right there right now. And why you should go there is 2 reasons. Number 1, I made this cool little graphic. It's fucking great.
You're going to love it.
And
check it out.
You'll be able to see Angela, who otherwise sits off screen, and whose voice is not as lovely and as calming as it is on the YouTube feed.
Hey, it's Eddie. Continued. I see, because he just kind of had a very bad attitude about it in the documentary.
Yeah.
And just seemed not very genuine. I hope you get justice.
Thank you so much, Abby. And thank you for reading the book and showing up at the live and participating in it and all of that. I am so grateful. And I actually got an email from somebody very recently, 2 days ago, that I have yet to reply to. And it's this beautiful email. And it's somebody who has... Oh, so sorry.
You're knocking into that.
Yeah, sorry about that. But it was somebody who has gone through like all of the media that I've been creating. I mean, just all the podcasts.
It is a very entertaining rabbit hole to dive down.
It can be, yeah.
Your film, especially because it's a piece of American independent film that was blocked by the movie stars that made it. That's so scandalous
and also rare. I was there.
Jenna said, "If you want, I can ask my dad to fund you to sue him. Maybe he will help."
Jenna, yes.
We are welcoming any help to sue.
Or just make a movie. We could just make a movie. Nothing would make them more upset than me fucking killing it.
I wouldn't mind having somebody fund a lawyer for you. Okay, S. Mitt is asking, thoughts on the most recent information regarding Blake Lively and Taylor Swift?
Okay, well, what are we talking about? Because I don't know yet. I've been buried in trying to make this stream work, which, by the way, is still going excellent according to the statistics.
You made it work.
I am
Okay, so here's
proud of myself.
Brian Friedman,
Yes.
the attorney for the Wayfarer parties, and Justin Baldoni.
Yes.
He really, really needs headlines. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how he operates.
Okay.
He doesn't have a case that's going to win in court,
Right.
but he does have a case that he can exploit for publicity to make it seem like his clients are really the winners here. And I'm sure he's going to make up some sort of way for the court proceedings to have been some sort of like big scandal against them. Okay?
Okay.
So he's kind of like, the news is kind of dried up. Like Blake Lively released a new movie and did promotion for it, and they were hoping that was going to be more of a scandal that they could exploit, but it wasn't. And so the next thing that they're doing is they're trying to spearfish another big celebrity who is like peripherally involved in this case, which is Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift got subpoenaed
Poor Taylor Swift.
for
Her and P. Diddy are just really getting a bad rap.
she got subpoenaed for documents, and they hope to depose her. But her and her attorneys are asking Brian Friedman to narrow the scope to whatever it is he can identify that she was actually involved in, because they're saying it wasn't much. And so having this broad of a subpoena where they want every conversation that ever happened between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is just way too broad. She was like barely involved, and they want
They'll never get that. They'll never get that.
You're saying, I'm sorry, who's they?
I mean, Friedman's not going to get
Every communication?
No way.
Of course not.
and
He's not
I mean,
entitled to that anyway.
not only that, but like the judge is Doug Lyman's brother.
Here's the thing.
He understands, at a greater level than probably any other judge in the judicial system, the value of that privacy and also the malice that comes with their celebrity and people prying into it. The malice from just prying into it.
What's really stark about this is that Brian Friedman and the Wayfarer parties have not identified a single reason that Taylor Swift is relevant to any of their claims.
Right.
Taylor Swift didn't steal anything from them.
Right.
Taylor Swift didn't take control of anything from them. Taylor Swift provided, actually, something of great value, which is her song.
Right.
Taylor Swift didn't have any direct communications with anybody from Wayfarer.
No.
Any of the Wayfarer parties. Taylor Swift didn't have a publicist talk shit about Baldoni either. Like,
Nope.
There's nothing. She's like not even involved. And so it's just so clear that the whole reason why he's trying to make headlines about why anybody's talking about Blake Lively's relationship with Taylor Swift, or why Justin Baldoni is trying to get any testimony from Taylor Swift, is just so they can put it in headlines, because they don't have anything else to talk about. Nobody cares anymore. Everybody's moved on. There's these other cases,
Yeah. I mean, Karen, fucking Karen Reed and P. Diddy. That's nutty shit.
I mean, so he's just trying to remain relevant, and that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that he's trying to rack up the dollars. He's trying to rack up all the fees.
Yes, he's continuing to charge. Steve Sarowitz and Wayfarer.
What's interesting is how stupid he seems to be.
Brian Friedman?
Yeah, you wouldn't think Brian Friedman is necessarily stupid, but he seems like he's stupid because, on the one hand, he's like he puts out a subpoena for Taylor Swift, and he's trying to get this broad, access to her life and her texts. And then on the other hand, he's offering a Madison Square Garden big screen telecast of Blake Lively's deposition.
Yeah, he's just trying to humiliate his opponents. It's clear.
It's just like when you're going to a judge.
Yeah,
when you're in front of a judge and you have to fucking when your motive is so obvious, it just blows my mind.
Also, another thing too. So the only thing that anybody is saying that Taylor Swift had anything to do with was that she maybe gave her opinion about casting, like that she was maybe sent some reels or photos of whoever they were going to cast for young Blake Lively, Lily. That has nothing to do with this case.
There's going to be a lot of people, if their lawyers do their job, meaning on Taylor Swift's side or on Blake Lively's side, there's going to be a lot of people who saw that tape that they're not subpoenaing.
No, so. I know. It's just like there isn't a single element that he has to prove in his case that Taylor Swift can help him prove. There's not a single thing. It's very weird. He is trying to subpoena Taylor Swift before he subpoenas any Sony executive is really, really telling.
Yeah.
He's not actually trying to make his case.
No.
Because if he had a case to make, he would be subpoenaing the other production company. Right. The studio.
That's right.
Who had emails between every single one of these parties.
Yeah.
And had other, knowledge and had conversations with every single one. Totally involved. They're completely left out of it.
Yeah.
What is that about? That's not serious.
That's not fucking serious.
That's not serious lawyering.
I have to make sure that my levels are good. Levels are good. I don't even have it open.
Yeah, see, S. Smith is saying Brian Friedman wrote a letter to the court stating that he has a source, right? It's anonymous source, I'm sure, that Blake Lively is extorting Taylor Swift. And I just don't know how that helps his case at all. Like, it's not like he has to identify every crime that ever existed in order to make somebody bad. For instance, okay, here's a really great example of that. So
right.
In the Karen Reed trial, okay, which is going on in Massachusetts right now.
Okay.
The Canton Police Department is the defense is saying that they staged a big scandalous cover-up in order to frame an innocent person for the murder of a police officer. Okay?
Yes.
This is the same police department that just a couple years ago had this cover-up where a police officer was found guilty of murdering a woman, and there was this big cover-up, and they tried to make it look like a suicide instead. Okay?
Right.
But the judge in this case, right, which is a case that very much centers police misconduct in that police department, said that information about that previous misconduct involving a murder was not admissible. It doesn't overlap. So if Taylor Swift and Blake Lively are involved in some sort of extortion scheme, that is totally irrelevant to Brian Friedman and Justin Baldoni's case. Like, they can't just bring in every single piece of gossip that they ever hear that has nothing to do with his client. Right? Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. That's exactly correct.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, everything, it has to be tied directly to
his claims,
to those claims and to conversations related to It Ends With Us, related to soundtracks within It Ends With Us. They can say, listen, anybody that they communicated with that had that they communicated with about Taylor Swift, right? Those would all be potentially discoverable. And then obviously any conversations directly with Taylor Swift would be discoverable if they're related to.
But like, let's say
It Ends With Us.
So his whole thing is Brian Friedman is claiming that Blake Lively told Taylor Swift to delete some text messages.
Right.
We don't know if this is true or not. If he actually went through discovery, he might be able to find out these things. But he's been stalling about discovery because he can't actually tell them what he's trying to discover. That's another reason. Like, he's claiming that they're doing shenanigans, but he can't. He's been sabotaging his own case to find out what those are anyway. So he's making these big claims. But even if Taylor Swift deleted text messages where, I don't know, Blake Lively is saying like, "Hey, this Justin Baldoni guy's a real fucking asshole."
Yeah.
Like, it's still not pertinent to his case. It doesn't matter. They are in a dispute. Of course, Blake Lively is going to tell her friends about it.
Of course.
I don't know it doesn't prove anything.
No.
I think he's just trying to make headlines.
He's trying to make headlines. This is about increasing his profile. I think he's addicted to the attention.
It's all he has. He's not going to win his case. He doesn't have a case to win.
But he's like, he's getting on like all these shows. He did that whole like.
Yeah, and he's billing hours.
What's her name? Megan what?
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that whole interview too, and I did a whole breakdown of it, and I just never published it because I'm too fucking lazy. Not anymore though, because now I got this whole situation.
You have a situation.
You don't understand the breakthrough that working on YouTube is in terms of content creation, because one of the reasons why we have so few viewers is because I don't actually do a lot of publishing of videos outside of I don't do any publishing of videos anymore because it's just too much work. I can't fucking do it all. I need a staff. And I'm not talking about the thing that Gandalf holds.
You need a magical staff.
I need a staff.
S. Smith has the full scoop. Okay, so
Maggie,
Brian Friedman
hello. It's good to see you.
Brian Friedman is also claiming that Blake Lively demanded a statement by Taylor Swift that supported Blake Lively, and if not, she would leak texts. This is not the truth. Guys, I'm sorry, but this, you just have to use your common sense. That did not happen. And if it did, it's none of his business. Like, it's just crazy.
I have to get some of these YouTube comments. I'm going to eventually, when we're, you know, just so you know, I'll be able to create a moderator for you. And then you'll be able to just do the same thing you're doing on the YouTube channel. But, you know, that's another transition. So you're not being ignored, YouTube friends. If you're not on YouTube, I highly recommend that you do come and check us out on YouTube.
Do you want to hear some comments?
Because Angela's there. And you hear her off screen. Yes, I want to hear the comments.
I'm
please.
Everywhere.
You're everywhere. The omniscient, omnipotent,
omnipresent Angela. And that's what they call me at the on the yard.
Oh, my hair's too long. Wait, man, I'm a fucking hippie. What am I going to do?
Claire said, I came back. I told you I'm here for this ride. But please don't be lying because I saw the documentary and I don't know who to believe. That's Claire.
Which one? Which documentary? Is that my documentary? You don't know who to believe? You got to read the book, Claire. You got to read the book. Listen, I'm not lying. And if I were, I think they'd come and get me already because I wrote a book where Leonardo DiCaprio literally does some horrible shit in this book.
We have to be kind to Claire though because she said I grew up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah. So
I really don't want to think he's a bad guy.
Well, let me one up you and say that I used to hug him and tell him I love him. You know, that's the relationship I had with him. He was my friend. He was somebody that I felt safe with. He was somebody that I felt, a deep bond with. And the same goes for Leonardo DiCaprio. So I of course I totally, and just to be sure, dude, I totally, and by the way, I totally feel this, the Smokey Robinson just got outed as a rapist. It's terrifying for me. It's not terrifying for me. It's terrible for me.
You can't have any heroes anymore.
Because all my heroes are just going down one by one. Yeah. So I know what it's like when your heroes go down. And I will say also that these guys, while Toby wasn't a hero, Leo was kind of a hero to me. He was my friend, but he was also somebody that I greatly admired. He was somebody that I in some respects aspired to be like. And I'm not just talking about his success. I really wanted to be better looking. I'm totally kidding.
Claire said maybe Toby simply made a mistake and thought bad things were happening, like a big misunderstanding.
No. Have you read Molly's Game? Molly Bloom. You think he was just having an oopsie moment when he tried to make her bark like a seal for $1,000 in front of a bunch of rich people?
Usually with a big misunderstanding, they seek understanding, right?
Yeah.
It's like nobody involved in ruining Dale's movie was ever trying to find the answers to what actually happened. It sucks.
Toby's had 30 fucking years to get this right. He's had 30 years to get this right. And not only that, but I've given him like a great deal of latitude. Like, it's not until this book that I wrote this book that I really outed him for the fucking horrible human being that he is. I am sorry to say, and by the way, this is just for entertainment purposes and only my opinion, that Tobey Maguire is an abysmal human being. He's an absolute scourge of humanity, in my opinion. I say that only because of my personal experience with him. I find him absolutely repugnant. Now, Leo, there's a possibility for redemption there somewhere. Maybe. Then again, one of his good friends is on trial right now, a guy called P. Diddy. Man.
Yeah.
How do you hang out with a guy like this?
Leo Edits said that he looks really serious at Ken, and I'm sure that's exactly why. He's got problems.
Bring on the can, dude.
His publicist is like having like martini lunches, like really trying to cope with. I'm sure it's like a steady stream.
That's great. You know what? Delicate's saying is that if Tobey Maguire had made a mistake, then he should have made it right. He could have made it right all this time.
That's right.
It's been 30 years. If he just made a mistake, make it right. I sat across from Scott Bloom, in 2011, I think it was, and the guy couldn't even muster an apology. And does he owe me an apology? Oh my fucking God. He owes me the biggest apology. His apology should be wrapped in houses and bags of money. The guy took away...
That's what happens. If anybody tries to make amends for you from that side, you should be like, yeah. I need your apology wrapped in a house.
Yeah. You could put your apology in a deed. Write it in a fucking deed. Yeah, they stole so much of my life, Claire. It was crazy. And I know I'm being a little sassy and shitty right now about it because... but they stole so much of my life. I mean,
You're
you can't
entitled to be
imagine
sassy.
what they took from me, from Artie Robb, from Jerry Metters, and others. If you haven't checked us out on YouTube, oh my God, you're missing the best thing ever. Check us out. We're at just look at 2 Real Live. If you're not a YouTuber, I totally get it. We're gonna keep doing. We're gonna simulcast. We're gonna do that. I got it in me. Yeah.
Mrs. Strawberry is in the
I
chat.
gotta do some of these. I gotta
Okay.
give some love to Delicate and Tanner and whoever else is over in this live stream. Yeah.
Mrs. Strawberry is in the chat.
Hi, Mrs. Strawberry. Pleased to meet you.
Is wondering if child stars have more of a propensity for these bad acts because of their exposure.
Well, I don't know, but I will say that I think that you bring up a very interesting point. And one of the more interesting things that I found about these child stars, in my personal experience and like literally hanging out with these people, is that they don't really grow up that well. And by that I mean I thought it was inhibition that I was witnessing in Hollywood amongst these guys who had been like, in the business since they were in diapers. Some of them. Artie Robb, literally his first job was Pampers. And they have a tough time growing up. They have a tough time just growing up.
It's got to be a really dysfunctional atmosphere to
Yeah.
try and be a kid, especially like a kid going through puberty. It's got to be really, really, really weird.
Totally.
We saw these, there's these documentaries that are coming out where there's like these really creepy men who are like satellites to all of these young stars all the time. So I'm sure that they were being groomed, whether the predators succeeded or not. I'm sure all these dudes were exposed to really bad behavior.
Yes. And there's that, I don't know what the guy's name was. Do you know one of you guys know? Leo Edits, if you're still here, you know it. The name of the guy.
A second, let me look this up.
It was like a manager or something, and he was known for his inappropriate behavior.
No, it's not Josh Peck. That was one of the co-stars. I think Josh Peck was actually victimized. I don't know.
And I'm like just saying, yeah, that's it. And you're just like, it's like a label you just don't want to put on anybody. Oh my God, I'm so happy that the YouTube channel is streaming. I feel so bad for those people. We had a couple of people that dropped by. Like, I hope that that Jacqueline will come back today. She came yesterday and she came the day before, and it was just hideous. And now we've just been smooth streaming ever since, and I'm so thrilled because I gotta say this about this whole thing that you guys, and really I just like Delicate and Tanner and Nadine and S. Grady, and I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out. Leo Edits and Titanic Edits, and just there's so many of you that have really, you guys have really opened up this new media for me that I think I'm going to have a really fun time creating, and I don't know yet exactly what that's going to be. And right now we're just sitting here, we're talking shit and having a good time, but I do think that it's going to evolve into something wonderful. I can feel it creatively. It's not about, exploitation and all this other stuff. I just feel creatively that something important is happening for me right now with this, within this world. So I'm just grateful to you guys so much. Jenna, you got to check out the YouTube. Do you not like YouTube? It's okay if you don't. By the way, I haven't figured out how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm going to give away some books when we get to 500 subscribers on the YouTube channel, because at 500 subscribers, I get to link my store to my YouTube channel, which is something I very desperately want to do, so that I can sell my books, the book. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Book is not. Oh, always adjusting the set, guys. Always adjusting the set. So I'm going to give away some books. I haven't figured out how many. I think I'll give away 5 books when we get to 500. I know it's not a lot of books. I'm just going to figure out how to do it. No freezing. I'm so excited. Dr. Susan is on the YouTube. Dr. Susan's a big deal to me. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, okay. I got the name. That took me so long. I was just like floundering over here on Google trying to figure this out.
Talking to myself. I should have
you said Josh Peck. Well, we weren't far off. It's the guy's name was Brian Peck.
Brian Peck, and he's the bad guy.
He is a convicted sex offender and former dialogue coach and actor.
Right. Somebody wrote me and asked me if I thought that Leo was diddled by him.
Fucking who knows, dude.
Could have been.
From the late 1990s to the mid 2000s, he worked on popular children's shows. Unbelievable.
God.
And then
this topic, by the way, is a topic that I'm a survivor of. So if you hear me talking shit about it, I just want you to know it's coming from a survivor's perspective.
Bob Villard was another guy who was a talent agent, and he used to take like racy photographs of his young clients, including DiCaprio and Maguire.
That's right.
And so he was eventually busted for trading these photos, like selling these pictures to known offenders online.
Yes, he was.
And they
were suggestive photographs.
His defense, like he would take photographs of like a kid squatting, and then he would be standing above them with the camera. Really, really gross. So but his defense was like, well, I'm a talent agent, and every talent agent in the business anywhere shares photos of their clients. Like, I'm promoting my clients. Like, that's what we do. And so he kind of got the benefit of the doubt from people in the industry for a really long time.
Right.
But Tobey Maguire stayed friends with him for a long time, right? As an adult.
Well, he's in my book. Well, not him, but his apartment is, I mean, so yeah. In 1996, I should say. In 1996, he was living with Bob Villard.
He was convicted. I think this is him, 1989.
So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, my name is Dale Wheatley, and I wrote and produced a movie called Don's Plum with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire, and that's been a 30-year dispute that culminates in the book behind me called Too Real, a Hollywood Memoir. And we began kind of hanging out with some folks on TikTok lives. We really liked it, and we thought we're going to do a podcast. And so you can see that podcast over on YouTube right now. And it's at Too Real Live. Yeah, man, we'd love to see you over there, because you'll hear Angela off screen, and also the audios. You guys are getting my phone audio right now. And by the way, we will eventually do multi-stream to TikTok. But right now, TikTok has like all these restrictions, and so I can't yet. But I would love to.
Okay, so I found a court filing about Bob Villard, and it's way worse.
So this is a court filing on Bob Villard.
I don't think I'm going to read it because it's upsetting.
Really?
Yeah, it's so much worse. But he ended up getting busted, like an informant decided to like buddy up with him and like try and like enjoy this kind of content with him, just to tape him and catch him. I love it when they get tricked.
Bob Villard, what a guy. Are you catching Claire's comments?
No, I'm sorry. I was deep diving into this.
That's okay. Claire, she's coming for you because my eyes are 55 years old. They're antiques. And I can't use them well on phones that are without my... Whereas the YouTube channel is the other benefit of the YouTube channel. I can see everything.
Claire's just trying to reassure you that Claire says, please don't think I'm against you. I'm just trying to weigh it all up fairly.
Oh, yeah, I don't, Claire, at all. I think you're so kind to be here hanging out with us. I actually embrace the people also who like are, adversarial, even adversarial, like as long as they're not being utterly mean or threatening, it's cool.
I think that as long as people are open-minded, it's fine to be skeptical about this. Everybody tells a story about celebrities. It's like, you never know what's true. And so we're happy to answer questions. I say we, like anybody's looking for answers from me.
It's so funny because like you say that, but Angela, like, when I sort of posed this whole thing to you, like I'm going to start writing, this open letter and everything else, Angela just like was like, oh, okay, fine. And she was very supportive. But then when my case file, from my ex-wife, she shipped my case file, which isn't complete, but still quite robust, containing like, look at all this. Let me grab one right here. Like this here is the
Oh, you're touching your mic.
This is the Artie Rob's I think 6 or 7 volumes of Artie Rob's deposition. So Angela just dove into all that, and she created like this amazing, I don't know, a number of documents, like a file with multiple documents that like kind of connect a lot of the testimony and kind of doing lawyer's work, basically.
I somehow managed to exploit like a fleeting moment of like hyperfixation.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have like ADD and suddenly like you're just like zoomed into like into a subject, like that's what I did with yours. So all of those volumes, people, I don't know if anybody can see those behind you. All those volumes, they're all disorganized. Every single one of those volumes is a different deponent.
Well, TikTok can see them.
And they're asked the entire story from beginning to end and during their depositions.
Yeah.
And so everybody was telling stories about different events, and none of it is digitized. So I had to transcribe digitally all of those depositions, and then I went and organized everybody's statements about what happened in every single event.
Yep.
And it was really amazing how I suspected this was the case because I think that Dale's a trustworthy person, but his side of the lawsuit,
I have fooled the woman for 13 years.
Everybody had the same story. Everybody had the same recollection, and everybody had the same impression of what was going on.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the case, right, which was Toby, Leo, Kevin Connolly, Ethan Suplee.
Yep.
And I guess Scott Bloom too.
Yep.
All of their stories were different. They could not get their story straight.
No.
Because their whole case was, they were trying to make a case about how they wanted to somehow justify that they blocked your film by saying that it shouldn't have been a film in the first place. But of course that was false, and everybody was going along with it the whole time. Everybody was very cool with the whole project.
Yeah.
So they all like had to construe these like oppositional memories.
They just credit things up. Like, one of the more rewarding comments that I've had in a long time in being on these lives was yesterday when somebody said, "Why does everyone hate you when you only told Toby what you heard somebody else say?"
It makes no sense.
But what it did was illustrate. What it does is illustrate that these guys were creating in their own minds the problem. Like, I never betrayed anybody. What the fuck point would I have in that? What could I possibly get out of betraying? It's my first project. I'm going to show up and screw everybody over. What am I, Justin Baldoni over here? Fuck's sake. At least, and he even waited until, well, that's not true. He started dicking people over from the start. But you know what I mean? Like, the fuck, man. And besides that, like, I'm just not a bad dude. It just turned out that way. It's not because I tried. It just turned out not to be a bad dude. I could have gone anyway like everybody else, I suppose. It's not genetic, that's all I can tell you.
But yeah, ideally what I want to do is get Dale to make a podcast with me where we go through the whole deposition, like the whole lawsuit.
I think we got one right here, don't we? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know, but like in a more organized way, so you guys can like the storytelling, because I think that it's important for everybody's critical of your book and your interviews, saying it's all one-sided. Yeah. And that's because literally no one on the other side wants to talk about Don Plum.
Super funny thing to say about a memoir, though, isn't it? Like,
I know.
Yeah, I'm not going to read your book. It's all one-sided.
Your memoir.
It's a fucking memoir, buddy.
Yeah.
I've gotten that so many times, you know that, because I guffaw every fucking time, and then I respond being, well, I guess you don't know what a memoir is. But and then I ask, well, yeah, I meant to write Leo's perspective, but I couldn't get inside his fucking body.
Well, we have their testimony, so we have their side of the story.
We may do with what we had.
And if they didn't lie under oath, then it should be the truth, right?
Oh my God, I'm so tickled that we have this YouTube is just trucking along. And listen, let me get to some of these comments, because Angela can't do these comments yet, but she will be getting to them. Oh, you are?
Yep.
Oh. Angela's doing comments and everything. Oh my God, I feel so good. Oh, what a relief to, like, I felt like, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get fiber optics. I'm going to have to move to another country. Like, I was just, all the extremes, just to make it stupid, Mrs. Strawberry said she'd listen, make it happen. We're going to definitely do this on the YouTube channel. It's going to be a playlist on the channel. And the cool thing about what we're doing with this setup And, before, I'm going to spend the next week or two just tweaking this experience so that our YouTube podcast is, as top notch as it can be. And then, and then we're going to create content that isn't necessarily live content. And we're going to put that content up on YouTube. As a matter of fact, something that I'm hoping we're going to start soon is 5 questions from fledgling writers. Angela's going to harvest them from the internet and, Reddit and other sources. And then she's going to bring these questions and we're just going to do these riffs about, whatever problems that people are running into. And it might not necessarily be restricted to just writers. It might be producers. It could be any number of things. So it's just going to be kind of a surprise. And we're going to do these, cool little, so we have some really great content planned for the channel, as well as, to complement these lives and everything that we're trying to work toward, which is, look, we want to talk shit like everybody else about all the things that are going on. And I'm fucking deeply intrigued and somewhat even emotionally vested in Lively versus v. Baldoni and even the P. Diddy trial to a certain extent. But my ultimate goal is ultimately I want to contribute to society. And entertaining a part of that, but
Mandy said, I'm flipping between both streams like James McAvoy and Split.
Oh.
She's so funny, dude.
Yeah, Mandy's in a riot.
Mandy needs to get into stand-up comedy.
We have really funny, talented people in our channel.
I know.
Maybe we should find a way to get you guys more into the show. I know you can do that on TikTok a little easier. So guys, if you're on TikTok and you haven't checked out the Too Real live broadcast on YouTube, please do. It's at Too Real Live. We're live now on YouTube, and I feel like $1 million because of it. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. We've had 15 views, and I can't. I'm thrilled by it. I don't know why I'm so excited.
User is asking or informing you that the word on the street about Don's Plum is that it was an acting exercise and it was meant to stay private.
Yeah. Well, the word on the street is wrong. Where were they? TikTok?
Yeah.
Because it's user. Well, that's just wrong.
You were on the street at the time that it was made.
I don't care what the word on the street is, bro. I was literally there. That's completely wrong. So, and just so you know, I've done acting. Let me give you a list of some of the people I've done acting exercises with. I've done acting exercises with Jeff Goldblum. I've done them with Angelica Houston. I've done them with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire. I've done them with Johnny Galecki. I've done them with people that you don't know, David Arquette. I've done them with a whole bunch. So many fucking people in Hollywood I have done acting exercises and games with. We do them at parties all the time, or we did them at parties all the time, all the fucking time. And I know what they are. And let me tell you what nobody ever has done in Hollywood that I know of for an acting exercise unless they're super rich. And that is assemble a crew, 3 camera crew, shoot 300,000 feet of footage.
Rent out a restaurant.
Rent out a mansion in Hollywood and hire editors and work for months assembling their acting exercise. Do you see how it just starts to sound stupid? It's just such a silly thing. An acting exercise is something we do for a day. I worked with Randy Quaid and Abby Quaid, and they wanted to make a pilot presentation for CBS because they were going to do this they were doing this pilot. I forget what it was called, but they hired me and RD to produce it. So we did. And it was a 1-day job and then a 1-day edit job, or it was maybe 2 days in the editing bay, and then the job was done. And that was an acting exercise, and it was known as an acting exercise. So we were literally told we're doing a pilot presentation. So I built a quick set. I threw 3 cameras together, cost $25,000. We put the whole thing together, but we knew up front. It's just not true. None of it's just, it's just such silly. And by the way, that was not even an acting exercise. That was literally a presentation for a network. You could call it an exercise because I'm only putting it categorically there because it was never meant to be released. It was something that was only meant as, a means to an end, which, can happen. But anyway, it's just.
So what if it was an acting exercise even? You know what I mean?
Well, that's a really good point.
Like Dogville was a huge, didn't it sweep Cannes when it premiered?
It was a big, giant success.
Yeah. And it was very much an acting exercise. I don't know why that should disqualify your film.
Yeah. I want to get. You have to get to delicate. JCA is delicate. Did you know that, Angela?
No.
That's delicate.
Sweet.
So, just heads up. Anyway, so that's such a silly word on the street. It's such a weird thing to be have like a word on the street. You know, I don't know. Word on the street is kind of a funny thing, isn't it?
Oh, Delicate saying, my comment from earlier was that there are Selena Gomez Swifties that don't like Blake Lively because they like to pit Taylor's best friends against each other as much as they complain about the public comparing women.
Oh.
See, this is all over my head. I think it's been very helpful to realize that the only person who is interested in having these arguments where they're like roping in other celebrities is Brian Friedman. And I think it's always just so predictable that he's always trying to deflect from the allegations made against his client.
Yeah.
Like, whether Taylor Swift and Blake Lively remain friends is entirely irrelevant to the facts of the case and the claims that they're making in court. And it's just so obvious. Every time they try and get people to talk about something else other than his weak ass lawsuit, it's like a win for him. So that's why he keeps doing it. What's up?
I'm just organizing my my meters so I can keep an eye on my audio because you know, the one thing about I'll tell you this: what I did take for granted with TikTok was the ease. You know, like TikTok, I was just like I could like roll out of bed and do a live. You know, and with YouTube, at least doing a 2-camera shoot was a much bigger deal.
Glow with Amber is saying, what are your thoughts on them bringing Taylor Swift in? I think it's just for the PR scenario plan.
Yeah, I think it's all about to continue promoting and you know getting in the headlines. And I also think that we had a term in Hollywood that I'm sure they still use, and it probably isn't exclusive to Hollywood, called star fucker, right? And I just feel like he's a bit of a star fucker.
Who?
Friedman.
Brian Friedman
is like a star fucker. He wants to get in front of them all. He wants to and it's not like he's I think he's like one of those, you know, leechy type guys who like to leech on. This happens all over Hollywood. Oh my God. Like, there's a guy that I wrote about in the book called the One-Eyed Jack. And the One-Eyed Jack shows up out of nowhere, fucking bossing people around at a Don's Plum screening for Leonardo DiCaprio. At the Don's Plum screening that we did for Leonardo DiCaprio, this guy shows up. I don't know where his name is fucking Jack, and he's got a patch over his eye. And he just like kind of took everything over. And you know, you just sort of have that in Hollywood all over. It's just these people who will just like assert themselves in ways that are just like inappropriate and also not commensurate with their, you know, sort of status in the group or you know, reputation.
It's also really important to recognize that Brian Friedman has other cases, right, with celebrities. He's a celebrity attorney, okay?
Exactly.
He's a
star fucker.
Right now, currently, he is representing. He's representing Twigs, you know, that artist FKA Twigs. I don't know her.
I don't know anything about Twigs. It sounds like a really bad name to me.
She is suing Shia LaBeouf.
And a good name. Shia LaBeouf.
Yes. So
I do know who she
Brian
is.
Friedman,
she was assaulted by Shia.
Yes. So
terribly, actually.
Allegedly, right? Brian Friedman.
I believe her.
Is representing her against another celebrity, Shia LaBeouf, right? And he's not doing any of this on her behalf that he's doing for Baldoni.
Right. Oh, this is Baldoni.
And the reason why is because there's this whole internet ecosystem, this whole social media ecosystem that is primed to hate on women and to bash women and put women, you know, pit women against each other.
Yeah.
And they're eating it up. But he couldn't possibly do the same thing. He couldn't do the same thing and like promote another one of his clients who is a woman if he's engaged with all of these various, you know, they would start defending Shia, which is his, you know, the defendant in the case.
Yep.
He can't have that.
No. By the way, if you're on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and do also like if you can. Hate to do the like and subscribe thing. I'll get one of them fucking fancy little graphics in there in the next day or two, so I don't have to say shit.
Yeah, just don't make a sound on it.
Doi.
I hate it when it's like a bing sound.
Bing.
I'm like one of those.
I fucking don't like sounds.
I'm like a dog. Like I can't hear like, you know, like dogs can't hear door knocking on TV without barking. I'm the same way. I'm like, ugh.
If there's one thing that the White Lotus
Don't
gets
give
a
me
little
pings.
over the top on, it's the sound.
It's the music, right?
It's and the mix itself.
I think you're not the only person that's been criticizing them for that.
Yeah, the mix just gets a little much for me, and it's like it's weird because he has this cool European thing going, and then he's got this American bludgeoning of the sound thing that just.
It was publicized that Mike
Bothers
White had
me.
this big dramatic breakup with his music supervisor. Or, I don't know what they're called in that show. Do you know?
Music supervisor.
Well, I don't know if he was the music supervisor. He's the guy in charge of the songs in the show.
Music supervisor.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the showbiz guy. I don't know anything about anything.
Music supervisor.
And for some reason, I don't know why it was a headline, but a lot of people were like, "Good." This is a little over the top.
A little over the top.
But he must have liked it, you know?
I guess.
So I don't know how they broke up.
And yes, also, by the way, if you can share the live, if you're on, yes, thank you for sharing the live. That's so kind of you. And if you could follow, that'd be great. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. I think this is going to be a really fun ride. I really do. I think this is going to be a creative space that I'm going to embrace. And I do think that means I'll do something that's going to be at least remotely entertaining. And I don't know what else.
Delicate's asking, do you think that Brian Friedman took the FKA Twigs case to make himself look better?
No, I think he took the case because somebody was fool enough to pay him. I think this guy's just...
He represented Megyn Kelly too, right? Like he's just one of these guys that's like...
No,
they hire him because he's a bulldog.
Yeah. Is he though? If this guy was my attorney, I'd be devastated.
He is literally willing to do anything for his clients, so that's good. But I don't think that he's a very good lawyer.
Yeah, well, that's not good, right? The thing I would want, having been in this position where I needed a damn good attorney.
Yeah, but Baldoni didn't have a case. Maybe he needed a lawyer who wasn't going to tell him he didn't have a case, who's actually going to just, throw everything at the wall.
That's a good point, because a lot of lawyers wouldn't even bother taking a case.
They'd be like, there's no case.
Pretty incredible, nonetheless. Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at them both.
You got them both going.
Yeah.
All right then. Angela's the mad moderator. I got to make you a moderator, Angela. I don't even know what you're logged in on. Is your BTP?
I don't know. I should figure that out. I need a persona, Dale.
Yeah.
I need to get a persona.
That's true. Oh my God, I'm so glad to be with you guys tonight. Thank you for all of your patience. I know this is also another night where I'm less prepared than I normally am coming into these, because I usually have 5 other stories that I want to cover that I
have so many stories.
Well,
Do you want stories?
Come on, yeah, let's go.
So yesterday we were talking about the death of a beloved celebrity actor.
Yes.
Okay, who will be missed.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know, this talent has been in a ton of movies. We're talking, their big movie was Alligator, but and they were the star. Breakout role was Alligator, but Happy Gilmore. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact,
Dr. Dolittle
Adam
too.
Sandler, he wrote something, didn't he?
Yes. So
do you have it?
Yesterday we said goodbye to Morris.
Morris the alligator.
The alligator.
Who was 80 years old. And who starred in a buttload of movies. I wonder who got his residuals.
He has ascended to the big swamp in the sky.
The big swamp in the sky, yeah. He's hanging out with
the big bayou beyond.
The big bayou in the beyond.
The big
bayou. You're onto something.
Okay, Adam Sandler said this. He posted a picture, a still from the movie, where Morris has ventured onto the golf course, and Adam Sandler is threatening him with a golf club. Okay.
Yes.
Adam Sandler said, "Goodbye, Morris." You want to hear this?
Yeah, I do. This is Adam Sandler saying goodbye to Morris.
Yeah. Okay. He said, "Goodbye, Morris. We are all going to miss you. You could be hard on directors, makeup artists, costumers, really anyone with arms or legs. But I know you did it for the ultimate good of the film. The day you wouldn't come out of your trailer unless we sent in 40 heads of lettuce taught me a powerful lesson. Never compromise for your art. I will never forget at craft services that time when we split the Three Musketeers bar and you let me have the bigger half. That's who you were. I know your character's decapitation in the first movie precluded your participation in the sequel, but we will all appreciate the fruit basket and the hilarious note. I will miss the sound of your tail sliding through the tall grass, your cold, bumpy skin, but most of all, I will miss your infectious laugh. Thanks to Mr. Young for taking care of you all these years, and vaya con Dios, old friend.
Away you go, Morris.
I think he could have done better. I think he could have talked about,
okay.
Doing some...
Hey, listen, did you guys see the Adam Sandler song? What was that song he did? What was that? Was that for the Oscars?
No, it was for the 50th
Grammys.
anniversary of SNL.
It was the 50th anniversary for SNL. Did you guys see the Sandler song he did for SNL?
And
it was wonderful.
It was a tearjerker,
it was
for sure.
Fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
Like it. I've been like a hot and cold guy when it comes to Sandler. I love him now. Like just that alone.
I didn't have any use for him until I saw Punch Drunk Love, and I was like, oh, damn, like, you're really good at this. So now you can't say anything bad about Adam Sandler to me.
Hello, Mendy. I'm so excited that you're there. if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, you got to check it out at 2 Real Live. We're going to be doing, once, TikTok lets me do it. We'll do a, what do you call them? Simulcast? Multicast. Our numbers are pretty low though over at, just generally they're low, but that's okay. I don't care. I got some cool ass people with us now, and we'll eventually, hopefully we'll grow out.
Claire's not sure if her comments are sending, but I think they are. I'm seeing them.
Can you go back and see if we've missed any?
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. I'm checking both, so you guys can send them any place you please.
Oh, we right. It said, Adam Sandler is one of my many crushes. You are both on the list, of course.
Well, that's good. I didn't want to be jealous.
Adam Sandler's a great dude. And the other thing that I love about him is that he is like, he's super loyal to his friends. Like, that's what Leo had that he blew. Like,
well, I don't know. He's got a whole posse named. So
Leo, yeah, but
probably still has loyal friends.
Dubious
still.
at best. Like, that's dubious at best.
Yeah.
And if anybody thinks that Leonardo DiCaprio was a loyal person, I got a fucking book right behind me that proves that's not the case at all. What he did to Artie Robb proves that man doesn't have any loyalty whatsoever except to himself and to his immediate family. And that's it.
I think he set himself up to be really paranoid about his friendships too.
Well,
That's what Toby exploited for sure.
Apparently. Guess so.
Delicate's asking, did you see the case about Halle Bailey? That's another celebrity being abused.
It. What? I don't know anything about it.
Halle Bailey was she's that singer that played Ariel in the Little Mermaid adaptation.
What about her? What's her problem?
She was abused by her.
Thank you for the follow.
I don't know if that's her husband or her boyfriend, but anyway, she just spoke out about it, and I'm glad for her.
Be sure to follow us over at YouTube as well. Yeah, that sounds fucking great. I'm glad for her as well.
I saw she went through that.
There's a lot of comments going down on the YouTube channel if you want to get after those. I'm sorry, not on the YouTube channel, on the oh, thank you, Danielle. Danielle on the YouTube channel asking people to give the YouTube a thumb up. Really appreciate you.
Leo Edits is saying that Jeremy Sisto is also on the list of her many crushes, so please tell him if you see him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to see him again. I just have a feeling. I don't know. It's just like, it's probably a silly feeling, but I just have a feeling that, I just have a feeling I'm going to see him again. Who knows?
Hey, it's Addie is asking, wait, are you going to release the actual video of the depositions because clips of it were in the documentary? Yeah,
I provided those clips for the documentary. What's the matter?
I just don't know if this is something you want to talk about.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I would like to eventually, there's some hurdles, but I would like to eventually. I'm certainly we're going to do the deep dive. We're definitely going to do the deep dive. But you would not believe the protections this guy gets, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's fucking insane. Like, my own court reporter is not handing over the videotape depositions that I paid for. My own court reporters, and until I have a bunch of money to sue, I'm kind of strapped. So, and that's a protection he's giving Leo. He doesn't even fucking know Leo, and Leo didn't pay his bill. I did. Well,
Mandy said, we will be with you every step.
Thank you so much, Mandy. I'm so excited. I really think we're going to have a good time. I think good shit's going to happen all around. I really do. I think that I also I've been struggling creatively since I released the book. And not because I have creative struggles, not because I'm struggling, to find the creativity, but just managing all of this. Because
you're in marketing mode. It's got to be so distracting.
It's absorbing my life. And so I'm just trying to figure out like the whole idea of doing this, guys. A lot of people are like, well, why why would you even do this? And it's because, eventually what it leads to is a streamlined way to make content that can help promote the book. And so that's why I'm doing it.
So Jenna's saying that there's a Clueless re-release. And so Jeremy Sisto will probably be a lot more active on TikTok soon.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, good.
Did you know about that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's so fun.
You know what's funny about it is I get
I hope that's a way to promote your book.
I get a lot of people who are like, oh, get over it when it comes to me and Don's Plum.
Oh, I know. And they're re-releasing everything from 30 years ago.
No, it's just like they don't recognize that. Yeah, okay, I can't celebrate my 30-year anniversary. I have to still fight for my film. But I'm not going to give up on my film any more than the producers of Clueless are going to give up on Clueless, It's very interesting. You know what I mean, guys? Oh my God. I can't wait till we have a lot more viewers for you on YouTube, guys. Thank you for being the pioneers, what do you call it? I guess the pine, whatever it is. You guys
the tiny pineapple.
The tiny pineapple pioneer.
Pineapple pioneer? No. There's got to be a way to combine that.
I haven't seen S. Grady. I guess she was here a couple of days ago, but hopefully she'll be around soon. And
okay.
Yes.
Let's switch topics.
Topics are switching.
Let's talk about the Karen Reed trial.
Yes, it's the Karen Reed trial.
I didn't know.
Oh my God, this trial.
Okay.
Honestly, it's the juiciest fucking trial.
I know.
Since OJ. It's just that good.
So today was a really great day for the defense.
It really was.
Because they are just systematically eviscerating every single witness that they have on. Right now they're going through all of the witness testimony is the investigators that worked for state police and local police and all these other agencies who were collecting and processing evidence. And every single one of them does it poorly, screws up somehow. There was one woman who was talking about, she was very adamant about how evidence should be collected because she's a professional, right? She's a very credible professional. And she said each item of evidence gets its own bag and its own label, which makes a lot of sense. And then later on in her testimony, she was asked to reveal and show to the jury the entire housing that they had disconnected from Karen Reed's car with the broken taillight. So she held it up and she showed it to everybody. And when she went to put it back in the box, she asked them if they wanted to see the other items that were in the box. So she literally just finished saying that each item gets its own container, and then this thing is just rattling around in the box with other stuff.
The whole fucking courtroom just stopped.
I know.
They had to have
She's
a
like,
sidebar.
there's other stuff in here.
They had to have a big sidebar.
Her
it was just
responsibility.
embarrassing. It was like if it doesn't fit, it won't. You have to quit kind of thing.
Yeah, she was also asked
it's
about.
It's just like the shoddy fucking.
Trooper Proctor, who was the lead investigator, he was collecting, I don't know if it was him or somebody that worked under him, but they were collecting evidence, blood evidence, and they put it in solo cups, which is not professional protocol.
And froze it.
They put it in solo cups in a bag, and open solo cups, right? Blood evidence.
Solo cups are not what forensic.
No.
Are you sure?
No, of course not.
Are they sure?
So she was made to answer questions about that, which obviously she's like, no, that's not.
Well, to me, the most damning of that stuff that I got, and I caught glimpses of this while I was doing all my work, because Angela was like, being devout and like, studious, and I was like running back. I mean,
if that's what you want to call it, I'm really just like,
or just laying on the couch,
just watching a crime show, really
slackly, lazily watching a show. Anyway. What caught my attention about that was the questions about, so do you know whose blood that is?
Right.
So they have blood in cups.
She also revealed that it was not tested.
They don't know whose blood it is. What is that blood even doing in the fucking evidence? What is that even doing in the case? Who cares if they say they got it from somewhere? They don't even know whose blood that is.
Typically, if you find somebody who has been obviously unalived from some sort of harm done to them, you'll try and see who else's DNA is on their body, and they
potentially, and just like and specifically, like each sample wasn't necessarily from the same source,
right?
So, wouldn't you want to know if you have a consistent blood pattern here? It's obvious. It's obvious. It's as obvious as saying, like, you can't say somebody's a drunk driver until you have a breath sample or a blood sample that provides you with that kind of evidence. You can't say this is the blood of somebody unless the blood identifies that person.
There's also very suspicious. Okay, so this isn't this lady's fault, right? She was just the technician who goes in and catalogs evidence on the place where they collect it from, and then takes it back to her laboratory and then analyzes it and does whatever tests she's supposed to do on it. Okay, so it's not like a shoot the messenger type situation, but she was made to look at a lot of the photographs and discuss some of the evidence that she had taken pictures of on Karen Reed's car. So this is Karen Reed's car after it had been in a blizzard,
right? Driven
back to her house.
This is so ridiculous.
Driven back to her house, parked in her driveway.
Yeah.
And then it was towed on a flatbed tow truck, which was open, and then towed all the way back to the precinct, and then put in this bay this garage where they are analyzing it. And somehow, through all of that movement, getting like tilted up onto a tow truck and driven through snow and wind and everything else, there was a single hair that was attached to the back, and it was like attached on the side of the hair. It was like a curly hair that was like the letter. And they did this whole thing where they were like, describe for the jury and for the court reporter what the shape of the hair is, and she was like, it's a C, but it was only attached at the back. Somehow it clung to the car that whole time, not like placed on the car at the time.
Even if it was frozen there or whatever, okay, fucking who cares? But what does that tell you?
It's just not.
It tells you nothing.
Possible.
It also tells you nothing. Also, who cares? It's a fucking hair.
There was also
it was his truck.
A piece of glass that was probably like as big as a digit in a joint in your finger, that was on her on the little tailgate part of her trunk part of her SUV. That was just sitting there, like hadn't been shook off, like hadn't dropped off. It was just a piece of glass that was there. There was another time where she was there was a photo of the trunk with that piece of glass, and she'd put a little evidence sticker on there, but the reflection of that evidence sticker made it look like there were two stickers, and she couldn't tell the difference. So she was describing the second sticker, but there wasn't two stickers. It was just a reflection. So she had no recollection of how she had just seen.
That just looks so
it looks
damn
so
bad.
So if you're looking for if you're trying to put doubt,
and it's weird because it was like it impeached the witness.
Yeah.
And it did it in a way that was like completely unexpected, because he didn't expect it. Like, it was like courtroom drama. Like, he didn't expect that. It was like he got served it, and he was like, I'm gonna take this all the way. What are you seeing there? What are you actually seeing there? Because what I see, and then he explained it, and she's like, yeah, it could be that, and it was like, it could be, or it is.
Yeah.
There's one sticker there, lady. And I know that sounds like, it may sound like it's small or whatever.
No, you just want to create doubt in the jurors' minds,
but it creates the doubt that you need.
Whether this person can do their job properly.
Correct.
But it wasn't as exciting as yesterday. Well, not yesterday, because yesterday there wasn't any court, but the day before.
By the way, the court yesterday was, I guess it's still basically a rumor, but it seems substantiated that it was Karen Reed who was not feeling well.
Oh, yeah, we don't know why. It's irrelevant anyway, because they just continued today.
It might be that she's up for murder. She's like woke up and went, oh, fuck.
I don't feel like being up for murder
I'm
today.
up for murder. You know what? I don't feel like going to work today.
Yesterday, or the day before, was way more interesting because they had new video evidence that wasn't in the first trial.
1 second. Somebody's asking what the YouTube channel is called. The YouTube, well, it's at Too Real Live, and the YouTube channel is actually called Too Real Podcast with Dale Wheatley. Is that what it's called? If you follow the link in my, and I'll update my
It is
TikTok.
called Too Real with Dale Wheatley.
Too Real with Dale Wheatley. Too Real with Dale Wheatley.
And you've titled this Too Real Live number 3.
And this, well, I think that you'll just see that it's live, and then you click on the live. I don't know how that works. Thank you for coming to check it out. By the way, I have more questions, but of course, if you've moved on to other topics, no, Claire, you can ask your questions, of course. We're gonna continue with the we weave in and out on the questions. It's not a problem, is it?
I have so much more to tell you.
Keep going. I can't fucking believe that shit. And you can bring the questions, Claire. No worries. Don't forget to like and subscribe over on YouTube if you're there.
Mandy said, from all the evidence protection knowledge I have from 25 years of watching SVU, solo cups is a no.
Solo cups is a no. Solo cups is definitely like a criminal defense attorney's wet dream. There's so much wrong with this case. This case is so, to me, obviously a bunch of cops covering up for a murder.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you want to hear about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I found this today. This wasn't admissible in court because obviously, just like how Justin Baldoni's attorneys are trying to draw everybody into this mess that doesn't belong.
Yeah.
The jury for the Karen Reed trial can't hear anything about this previous case with the Canton Police Department, but there was they tried to label a police murder as a suicide.
Oh.
Okay, Sandra Birchmore is the victim's name.
Sandra Birchmore.
Yeah, so when she was 15 years old, she joined a young, like one of these programs for young people who want to become cops.
Yeah, like a little, like I had Sea Cadets.
Yes.
As a kid.
Right. And so she was groomed by a 27-year-old cop in that program.
Yeah.
And he continued to know her for all these years. And then when she was finally, an adult, he started a relationship with her. And in 2021, she became pregnant. She was like 21 years old at the time. And she...
millennia, what do you call it?
Yeah. So then...
One of them babies.
So she went missing for a few days. And then they checked the surveillance footage in her apartment building, and the last person to enter her apartment was this police officer. And so they went and they found her. She had been deceased for days. They discovered her deceased, and they ruled it a suicide. But it was not a suicide.
No way.
He, I guess, didn't want a relationship with her and didn't want to become a father, and so he murdered her. And the police, so he was charged with the crime, ultimately. It was this long, prolonged thing because it was another police cover-up where they weren't participating in any investigation or anything like this. And it was him and two other police officers that were implicated in covering up this crime and trying to erase...
Proctor or...
No, none of the same people.
Oh, not the same people, just the same department.
Yeah. But he is... I think the trial is pending. It was... Farwell was the officer's name. He was federally indicted on charges of murder in August of 2024. So this is the same Canton Police Department.
Can you believe this shit? Well, and the other thing is like they were talking about the size of it. It's like 45...
It's like 45 officers.
Employees.
Yeah.
Or is it officers?
Oh, I guess employees.
It's
They said
small.
how many people?
And the smaller, I think, the more, I think, likely you're going to have this cover up, and the ability to cover up.
Unreal. So yeah. So apparently, and I didn't know this, but this police department is a huge mess. And they must have thought they could get away with it. It's just... And this is basically simultaneously happening. Like he was just indicted, federally indicted on charges of murder in August of 2024. So yeah, they're very busy with their cover-ups there. Tomorrow,
my brain's still like on the work I have to do. I'm like, I gotta do the thumbnails tomorrow. Oh, I gotta do the thumbnails.
I'm telling you about.
I know.
I'm telling you about a victim of a heinous crime,
it's
and all you can think about.
Yeah, I know.
Is thumbnails.
It's terrible. I can't believe that. It's sad that we live in a world where, the people you're supposed to be able to rely on, the police officers, are not there for you. It just sucks. The silence.
But then, okay, the last thing I was going to tell you was that Oh yeah, people are still trying to do like the forensics on the video. It's new video from the last trial. They didn't have this video of one of the dudes. It's either
Well, they say it's Higgins.
it's either Brian Albert or Brian Higgins who went to the precinct at 1:30 in the morning
in a blizzard.
It was an hour
an hour
after John O'Keefe was last seen alive.
They were at the precinct, and both of them are materially involved in this case.
Mm-hmm. So the dude, whoever it is, it goes into an office and he grabs something. There's one color video, and somebody said that it looked like his hand was a little red, which would be really, really amazing, because that would mean that he'd probably been in a fight. But it could be because he'd been walking around in a blizzard. Why would
also,
he go?
Those cameras aren't going to pick up enough detail for you to be able to have evidence.
Why would he go and do work at 1:30 in the morning during it was a major blizzard, right? Wasn't everybody warned to stay inside because it was so dangerous?
It wasn't just a huge blizzard. It was the biggest blizzard in New England history, in the history of Maine. The biggest blizzard in their history. 27 inches fell.
So he said that he went there to move cars.
So I mean, this story is so magnificent
because he wanted to
take place in the biggest blizzard in their.
I know, right?
It's like right out of a novel.
I know.
Seriously.
He said he went there to move cars because they needed the parking lot to get the snow plows.
So, but he moved one car.
He moved one car, and he rifled through a bunch of other ones. And he got on his phone. He made a phone call.
Which wasn't, his phone was never subpoenaed.
But we're not sure who he is.
Wild shit.
The trial attorneys think that they think it's Brian Higgins, but a lot of people are saying that
if it's Albert, it's even more crazy. Brian
Albert was wearing the same shoes earlier, and that he put on a different sweatshirt, and that he has a very unique gait, like of his walk. So there's a video of him walking. I haven't done the analysis because
Angela's a gait specialist. She makes iron gates and wooden gates.
You guys want to know how somebody walks?
Already are dad jokes galore.
Yeah, Mrs. Strawberry says he got rid of his phone and his SIM card. They said that they think he went into the office to get a Faraday bag. That's fishy, you guys. What was he doing? If he was not implicated, if he wasn't involved in any crime whatsoever, why did he suddenly need a Faraday bag? It's really crazy. I think my opinion is that they had a dead guy in their house all of a sudden, and he needed to find a car from the impound yard that couldn't be traced back to him to move a body.
Yeah, and I believe
what I think.
I believe you're right, and I believe that I don't believe that it was necessarily. I won't say I don't believe it, but I think it's highly possible that it was an unintentional killing. He might have been getting set up to get beat up. Do you know? And
then it went bad.
And it went bad. Like I said, we talked about yesterday, but like you hit that pavement, bro, with a good solid crack to your face.
I'm not convinced, okay?
Nighty night.
I think
and you said that they changed out the basement floor, a concrete floor.
Yeah, they redid the concrete in the basement.
Redid the concrete in the basement.
Is that something that people typically do in the winter or spring even? Like, is that working?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't think you would do it in the winter. No.
Weird. I think what was I going to say?
Yeah, Erica on YouTube said he destroyed his phone at a military base, which, by the way, he destroyed his phone at a military base because he knew that the phones disposed on military bases are incinerated because they may contain sensitive information. So they get incinerated. So he didn't just... And by the way, how far away was that base? Wasn't it like 25 miles away or some kind of outrageous number? I am putting out that number.
Even if it wasn't around the corner, it's still a very, very suspicious thing.
It wasn't around the corner, though. It was a fucking major distance away. This guy's messing around. Like, this guy's like messing around. You fucking tossing your phone. They got rid of the dog. They redid the basement floor. They got rid of the house. And because, here's the thing about it, right? Nobody got access to the house at the time of the crime. There's a fucking dead body on the lawn. It's a cop
who's not wearing a coat and he's missing a shoe.
He's not wearing a coat. He was known for not wearing a coat.
The defense had that line of questioning, and I thought it was
But
really...
you're right. They would have not known anything necessarily about him not wearing a coat. So you're right.
The defense had that line of questioning. I thought it was really impressive where they were like, okay, so a guy is on the lawn who's obviously been attacked. He's got a head wound. He's bleeding. He's been like punched around his face. He's got these swollen, whatever. You just assume that this guy was beat up by somebody.
Yeah.
And he's on the front lawn of a house. Why do you think everybody in the house is safe?
Why do you
think somebody's not in there,
Right.
like, who completely, like, murdered the whole family? Like,
And the first thing you know is that the guy was beaten, or that has to be your first. You're not going to look at this guy and think, oh, he must have been hit by a car. You're not going to look at him and think that. There was a tremendous amount of blood, which, by the way, was quite surprising in terms of the evidence that they presented today. Like, they put up, they showed the shirt, they showed, like, there was a lot of blood on this man. So this guy was, he was bludgeoned by something. How could the assumption not be that somebody in the house had something to do with it? And that's, by the way, after Jennifer McCabe shows up and tries to perform CPR with a first responder, a trained first responder, 4 feet away in the house on which this man, on the lawn on which this man was found, and
it makes no sense.
And she said it didn't occur to her because she was thinking about what was best for John.
Yeah, right.
She was like, I was just thinking about what's best for John. Like, my first instinct would be, these guys know what they're doing. I'm going to go to them. This is, I don't know how any juror, by the way, Angela, you found out something I hadn't heard before, which was that in the first trial, she was actually acquitted on the murder charge.
Oh, yeah. So there was...
And she was acquitted of 2 out of 3, right?
There's 3 charges. So she was actually acquitted by the jury of the first and the third charge. So
and hung on the manslaughter charge.
Yes, but because it was because it was a hung jury, they never, I guess those verdicts were thrown out.
What's so crazy is that if you're the prosecutor, why wouldn't you? I could see that my name is too real with Dale in the fucking comments. Why wouldn't you, like, just try to get her for manslaughter if that's what you got hung on? They beat the murder charge. They're going to beat it again. And this makes me think that the DA's in on it as well. That's what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel like they're in on it as well. They're trying to get some kind of conviction, or maybe not even conviction. Maybe they just want the case to be over so they can close it, because you know how these cops and these DAs are. Even after they lose the case, they're like, no, I'm not looking for somebody else. We lost the case, but we had our killer. And they get to move on from it.
I think that's
so this
the
might
whole
be
point.
the way that, and you brought up this idea that there might be...
I believe that they're not trying to frame her and put her in jail. I think they're just trying to frame her enough to make this charade and cast doubt on who the real perpetrators are. And then when she gets away with it, they can throw up their hands and be like, well, we thought we had one, and just move on. And the real killers get away with it.
Because that's what they intend.
I think that's the point. Yeah.
That's a very interesting theory for sure.
Because there's no way that they can prove this case with it. I'm really looking forward to the day on the trial where they have the medical examiner experts, because it's just, you look at the guy's body and absolutely none of his injuries tell a story of a car strike. They tell other very different stories, but her car's not even involved in it. So all day long we've been looking at, like, evidence and collection from her car and photographs of her car and analyzing where all of these, like, pieces of glass came from and where they were left. And it's all irrelevant to me because his body does not tell the story that her car was involved at all.
It does not.
Like, it's a trial about a deceased person, and his body is what you would use to begin your investigation,
Absolutely correct. I want to just quick thank you to everybody. Thank you everyone on TikTok for your likes. I see them happening. You're very, very kind, and thank you for showing up and being a part of our evening. We really do appreciate it. And you guys on YouTube, I can't thank you enough, because I've been working so hard to try and bring this feed to you guys smoothly, and thank you so much for sticking it out with me. And I can't thank you enough.
We have some really great comments in the chat. Mrs. Strawberry is making jokes.
Oh, okay, let's hear them. I wasn't picking my nose.
Mrs. Strawberry says, I am from Massachusetts, and we do not wear coats in Massachusetts. So she's like, that would not have been weird.
Right, exactly. But I did like what Angela was suggesting, is that it's a blizzard, and this guy's out without a coat in the blizzard. In a blizzard, he's out without a coat.
And before they located his shoe,
why not check what's going? And without a shoe, maybe there's something. Maybe he did come out of the house, like
That's what you would assume. He's in a neighborhood he didn't like. Like, it's not like he, walked around the corner from the grocery store.
What is it with fucking Americans and their denial of cold, by the way? Like, I'm a Canadian. We put coats on. In Georgia, it's fucking 45 degrees. They walk around in shorts. They're all in shorts. I don't understand why I'm broken. I would have never survived. Like, I read Lonesome Dove this year. If you guys haven't read Lonesome Dove, it's Pulitzer Prize winning epic Western taking place in the 19th century. And, I realized like I could have never survived. Like I could have never survived in that era. I would have died just from exposure. Like, people like took baths outside and stuff. All of that would kill me. I would just die. I want to be on Survivor so bad, but I think I'd be the first guy to die on Survivor.
It's just really funny too watching
one cold night,
watching all this like brand new discourse about like vaccine skepticism.
Yeah,
and people are like, well, why do we need all these vaccines? Like, what did we ever do without vaccine? And everybody's like, we died.
We died. No, the children died. It was the children.
Yeah, they would have like 15 kids and hope that half of them would survive so they could, work the farm. It's just, everything was different, guys.
Erica's saying that the jury didn't know that they could render a partial verdict.
I thought that was interesting, yeah.
Is that true?
Well, yeah, the reason...
That's on the judge, because it's the judge's job to instruct the jury.
Yeah. That's right. There's a lot of criticism about her.
If I haven't shouted out your name on TikTok, it's because I can't see who you are. I know you're out there, though. I can see the things moving, and Angela does mention you. But if you're new to the channel, I'm Dale Wheatley, and I wrote and produced a movie called Dawn's Plum with Leonardo DiCaprio. I did a documentary with the New York Post, and in 2019, Leo decided to call me a liar and a thief, really dumb for him to do. And so I wrote a book, 572 pages of liar and a thief, kind of explanation. Anyway, I'm joined by Angela off camera. So if you can't see her off camera, it's because you're on the TikTok stream. If you head over to the YouTube stream, you can see her. She's my money attraction. So you should go check it out.
Shake my moneymaker?
She's my moneymaker all the way. She's my golden goose.
Mrs. Strawberry said the jury slip was messed up last time.
Say what?
That the jury slip was messed up. That's interesting.
The jury slip. Wow.
We kind of screwed up. We were late to this case, so I didn't watch the first trial.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about the first trial, and now I'm fully invested.
Oh my God.
Now I'm in.
Yeah, well, it's just it's so fascinating. Claire says, well, what if, this is changing just to on the Dawn's Plum topic, which I promised she was allowed to do. And so she asks, what if Toby genuinely believes that you
wanted to pit the press
against Leo?
Can you come over here, please?
Well, what if you wanted to believe that? I don't know what to say about that. I mean, he would have to know that I was incapable of that. You know,
okay?
Like, it's just so stupid. Like, none of us had the capability to pit the press against Leonardo DiCaprio. Like,
what does that even mean?
He was the big. Yeah, what does it even mean? But besides,
like, they have publicists, you don't. What is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio is the guy with all the power. Everybody knew. I literally knew. They were the only people I knew in Hollywood. Like, they were it. They were my whole world.
All he would have had to do is call his publicist, right, at ID, right? What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Who cares?
It's a huge public.
Yeah, the biggest publicist.
Huge publicity.
One of the biggest in the fucking.
And all
business.
he had to do was like, hey, make sure that the tabloids and the magazines don't publish anything that comes from Dale Wheatley, and then that's it. And then they do.
Well, you can also just like come to me and be like, "Yo, is this true or whatever?"
Right.
We could talk it out. But I had no capability of pitting the press. I don't even know what that is. That's the stupidest thing ever. First of all, why would I pit the press against my own friend?
The star of your movie.
The star of my movie. Like, it's just all such nonsense.
Well, I mean, Baldoni did, so.
Yeah, but Baldoni did it out of fear.
No longer outlandish.
Yeah, it is, because Baldoni did it because he was afraid that he was going to be outed for
don't do that.
His SH and outed for his inappropriate behavior. It's totally different. I'm gonna pit the press against Leonardo DiCaprio. It was the stupidest thing ever. I just don't. And the other thing is that Baldoni thought it, but if you thought about that, like, or or Blake Lively did, doesn't matter. Those are people highly capable of it. I was literally an immigrant from Canada with no fucking money. They were my only friends. Artie Robb had no power or money. None of us had the ability to pit the press against Leonardo DiCaprio. But why would I even do such a thing?
Hey, it's Addie is asking, you should do a live just about Don's Plum. That way people can ask the questions.
I absolutely will. When you get a chance to read the book, Claire, you'll see that it's just such a stupid story.
Okay, so back to the trial.
Yeah, back to the trial.
This is interesting. So Mrs. Strawberry is educating us about what happened with the jury last time. She said that they could only vote guilty or not guilty, and it was one box, not 3 separate boxes. So it would be like one charge, like either everything or nothing. But it's interesting because I think it was there's a juror from the last trial.
Is that going to be the same? I wonder.
Maybe. There's a juror from the last trial who was on some talk show, some legal talk show, and told them about how that the jury had decided these 3 different charges separately, right? And they all felt like they wish it had gone so that they could actually get the verdict through. But that's interesting that that's how it was organized. It seems kind of... Doesn't it seem inefficient? What if she was found guilty for one and then it was hung a jury for the other? Right. So does that mean she doesn't go to jail for this thing that she's guilty of?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. By the way, also for anybody interested in the book, because I heard some book chatter there.
Why are you complaining?
If there's anybody interested in the book, I'm offering 20% on the paperback. 20% off on the paperback and 50% off on the ebook on my website. 2 real 20, 2 real 50. Just look at the ticker at the top and the website if you're interested in buying the book. I would love to send you a book. Let me show YouTube. Let me show you guys my little roll of books that I made. I'm going to give these books away, I think. These are the books I'm going to give away when we get to 500 followers. We're at 373 right now. Let me see.
Erica said, sorry about your Jets yesterday.
Oh, it's the most pain. It's just so much pain. 55 years. I've loved them since birth, and it's just pain. Thank you, Mrs. Strawberry followed us, Angela, on TikTok. Thank you for following us. I wanted to show you these books. Let me see. I can just do it this way, actually. Let me do it this way.
That's a good boy.
So I'm going to give these books away, all of these books, and I'm going to sign them if you want that. Why you would want a signature from me, I'll never know. But if you do want it, I'll sign them, either personally or otherwise. I'm going to give those away, and I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet. Those of you who always hang out with us, you're going to find out. I hope that when we get to 500 viewers, only those who always hang out with us are here so I can give them the books. But we're going to figure out a random way to do it. Maybe we'll do I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm going to make it fun. And then I'll ship out those books. How many are there? There's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. I'm going to give away 9 books. What am I doing? Do you think people read books that they're given?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then I'll give away 9 books. But at 500 subscribers. Because at 500 subscribers, I get to link my store.
Did you hear what Mandy did?
What?
She said, I read it on vacation and loved it, and then left it in the hotel room. I ordered a new copy to reread it.
Oh, my God. You're so amazing. That's just so amazing. That's so kind. You're so kind. I'm almost embarrassed.
Mandy said I need a signed one from you and Angela.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
People want me signing it.
You have to sign them. Angela, you edited the book. Angela's a big deal in the book.
So weird.
I forget to, sometimes I forget to tell people, how much of a contribution you made. It's clear in the book. I tell everyone in the book.
It just feels so much like taking credit, and I don't really want to do anything like that.
Well, you're not taking credit. You would never do that. You know who wrote the book, but you can take credit for editing it because you did that. Hey, look, it's the same reason why it's called Too Real with Dale Wheatley is because Angela won't let me put her name there. People are like, just in case you were thinking, with Dale Wheatley, who the fuck are you, pal? Well, Angela won't let me put with Dale and Angela. So.
Speaking of which, I'm missing.
What do you mean you're missing?
I'm missing.
No, you're back on. I just put you back on.
Okay, good.
You're coming. I just show people the books.
Mandy said, Angela, take that credit, girl.
That's right. Take what's yours. Take what's yours.
We talked about it. I didn't want to be mentioned in the book.
Well, I'm not. You don't really give
like in the story.
Credit.
It makes sense, right? Because like I'm involved, but yeah, I didn't really.
Well, I mean, editors rarely get, especially
right?
in that
It's a little weird.
situations. But they get acknowledged, and it's also like, I mean, you did amazing work, and I'll always be grateful. But not only will I always be grateful, but I'll always trust. I'll trust you with my words. They mean everything to me. They're kind of all I got these days, and so sharing them with confidence is probably the most important thing to me. And you, as my editor, give me that. It's wonderful. You're behind because you're way behind. But can you guys see Angela on the YouTube channel? Obviously, because you guys can't see her on TikTok. Well, Mrs. Strawberry, we're so glad to have you. Hope you'll keep coming back. It's really fun to have you.
Thank you Claire's apologizing. You don't have to apologize.
Why would Claire apologize?
I'm really sorry if I made you upset today. I didn't mean to.
No, you didn't.
You didn't.
Hey, Claire, you didn't. I'm so glad you're here.
And here's the thing, too, is like
you didn't make me upset at all. At all.
It's
like, I get. Just let me explain for Claire. I think I'm a very passionate guy, and I can be very passionate. And if you're very sensitive, then you could be like, "Ooh, this guy is in my damn face."
Yeah, it's like you're talking about an upsetting topic, but it doesn't mean you're upset.
Yeah. Oh, and like I'm gonna go off about, you know what? 30 years I've been dealing with this guy and this story and all the rumors and stuff like that. So sometimes I like maybe come off of like a get off my lawn kind of thing, But I appreciate you more than I'll ever be able to convey. You'll never know exactly how much I appreciate you and that you spend any time with me. I think if the more time you spend with us, the more you'll recognize that we understand the privilege and we understand the kindness that you show spending time with us. So even to my adversaries, I say, let's go, let's dance. It's cool.
Even to my adversaries.
To my adversaries, I say, I dance with you. I dance with your mothers. Your sweet, supple mothers.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Oh, that one, yeah. Yeah, see? They see you, Angela.
Okay, what else are we talking about? What else is on the list? Here we have for you... I
don't have my list yet. I probably won't have lists for another 2 days.
Here's another thing.
So we're just relying on you.
Okay, here's more Karen Reed.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys are on YouTube. Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that was shown to the jury today for the first time was the forensic testing, well, not testing, but the forensic photographs of John O'Keefe's clothing. So they showed his clothing to the jury before. They had them like pressed between two plexiglass and they held them up, and it was kind of shocking because there's a little bit of blood, right? But he doesn't have any injuries that make it seem like he would bleed a lot,
especially in the front like that.
Yes, it was weird. He had blood on the front of his shirt.
That means that the blood had to flow that way from the back of the head, because that's the only place where blood was coming from.
I mean, they should have tested it because it might have been somebody else's blood.
Holy shit.
Weird, right?
Well, you still can. It's there.
Okay, she showed a photograph to the jury today where she put a little white arrow on his sleeves of his long sleeve shirt that he was wearing over his t-shirt. And this is the sleeves over the arm that has all of the scrapes and stuff on it that everybody with any sense thinks looks like he was attacked by a dog. But the shirt over those injuries has a bunch of holes.
Consistent with punctures? And
they're holes all the way from the wrist. See, I'm looking at the picture now. So it's literally from his wrist all the way down at the bottom, these little stickers that she put to mark the holes.
Yep.
From his wrist all the way up to almost his shoulder, like definitely in line with the seam at his armpit. So that's a really, really wide range.
Fuck yeah.
If those injuries were from a broken tail light, his arm would have had to been like folded because the tail light is not that long to injure a straight arm. However, all of his injuries are on a straight arm.
But also, if there
Like-
if it was taillight, then the taillight would have ripped holes in the fabric. There would have been bits of glass or bits of lens in there. If it's 42, 43 pieces or whatever it was, like how can it be?
Yes.
How can it be one or the other?
Torn
like
fabric.
It's either exploded into right, or
Yeah.
it's jagged and it gets snagged and it
true.
tears.
The
Like
fabric,
which is it?
So the fabric went on the close-up pictures that they showed the jury today. There was very clearly a puncture wound, like a puncture hole.
Yeah.
And then so it would the hole was like, it was a hole punctured through and you could see the torn fabric, and then it was like a little drag on the side. So it was like a puncture wound, but then it was like made a little baggy or torn just a little on one side.
Yeah.
But it's very different from when, like, if you get cut by glass, that's a tear. So
Right.
you see like a line of torn threads. These were like very much holes. It's just not. It's like definitely looks like he got bit by a dog.
But
By
multiple bites by a
fangs.
dog. Yeah.
Anyway, somebody was posting the pictures and they were like, "Huh, that's so weird because these holes in the shirt fabric are holes, like puncture holes. But then what he's got on his arms are like, they start with a puncture and then there's this long laceration, like the puncture, whatever punctured him, dragged." And so they're like, that's so interesting. If it was a taillight, they called it like the magic bullet, you know, like JFK had, when they were doing analysis about the bullet that struck JFK, they were like talking about how it like must have like ricocheted in his brain.
Yeah.
There's just no way that it could come from all the angles at the same time. So it's like that. It was like the tail light glass must have like penetrated into the shirt and then scraped him up underneath without doing any more damage to the shirt.
And then dispersed into the grass and nowhere near
Right.
or on his body, because they didn't find any of that material on the body or
And
in the clothing.
the length of injury,
if they'd have found lenses in the clothing, that would have been money.
I know they didn't. The length of the injury too. You can see that he was injured with his arm was not like folded completely, like in order to minimize the amount of space that something would have to damage. All of the injuries are going in the same direction, all the way
Yeah.
down his arm on one side.
Terrible.
Another thing that happened today was the guy
Before
who,
you go on, let me just add Eric. Eric has been patient, and I want to. Her last question here is, do you think that the judge called Yannetti an asshole on the hot mic today? It's a hot topic of the day. It is a hot topic. I think I'm going to go with yes, just because it's way fun if she did. I don't know, but I think so, and I like it if she did.
it's also inconsequential. Like, if she can think he's an asshole, she can call him an asshole. It doesn't mean that Karen Reed gets a retrial.
I think it's very clear that she does not like the
Hey, can
defense
you
team.
stop complaining, bro? You're good.
It's a dog, by the way, because we have dogs and we like dogs and we watch dogs and we help dogs and we do all kinds of things with dogs.
He's complaining.
I can tell you a story about this time that Angela saved a dog that was in dire straits. It was abandoned. This guy had a mental breakdown, and we went into this house. We had to get it out of this back room. It was like ribs exposed. It was awful. And this dog is like living like the life in Canada right now. It's all because of Angela. It's fucking awesome.
I told that story, and he actually showed up on social media.
Buddy. His name was Buddy, of all things.
I told that story about the squalor, the horrible condition, the
It
absolute
was
neglect
one
and
of the
abuse.
craziest scenes I ever saw in my life.
It was really, really awful. I told that story on social media, and the guy showed up, and like,
Oh, that's
what
right.
complained.
The guy from whom we took the dog.
I had
and
never met
saved
him
the
because
dog
he had
from-
disappeared. He'd like abandoned this dog in this horrible condition, horrible situation, just completely abandoned him, starved to death. And so, like,
Oh, Andrea's here, by the way.
Dale,
I'm sorry.
I was telling people the story, and he showed up, and like trying to shame me for like, you know, like, I don't know, like, I'm sorry you had a mental health issue, but you like you tried to kill a dog, so like you don't get a pass for that.
No, you don't
I
get a
did not
pass.
feel bad.
It was a weird moment, man. When
I was like, maybe you shouldn't have put me in the position.
You feel bad because he's like.
Maybe I'm a victim here too, bro. Like, you shouldn't have made me try and save your dog's life. Anywho,
We do. Everyone was. Angela was like mortified because this room is fucking wrecked.
Our room?
This room.
This room.
And I showed the dog, and you were like, Dale,
it's not wrecked. It's just there's like
everything everywhere. It's just a mess. I mean, I got an OLED TV box over
we need
there. and
storage
fucking-
solutions for our cables, so they're just like in these bins, just
Yeah.
out, and it looks messier than it is. Anywho, I don't know why you're telling people that.
Somebody's asking about the dog. Somebody asked about the dog cam. Mandy said we love
Oh,
the doggy.
I want to get a dog cam. He doesn't want to sit in his comfy bed that I made.
We're gonna
him,
get a
I don't
dog
know
cam.
how that's going to work. Okay, listen. Can I tell you more about
Yes,
this?
more. Tell us more.
Okay. Another another witness that we had today for the Karen retrial was showing photos to the jury about where they collected the pieces,
The lens pieces.
of the taillight lens, the bright red pieces.
Okay.
And he showed pictures of how they were sitting on top of the snow. And the cops are saying that the pieces were exposed in the snow because it had been raining that day. But John O'Keefe what did you say, that it was like a foot of snow fell? And
27 inches.
And when
so it's
he
more
was
than
found,
2 feet of snow.
when he was found, he was completely.
But by then
under-
it was probably a foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or near that.
And then, so John O'Keefe when he was found, he was covered in snow.
He was a mound of white.
But somehow these bright red on the white snow pieces were just like on top of the snow.
Yeah, they were on top of the fucking snow.
And also,
That's not possible.
He shared a photograph of where they were found, and they are all the way, like, probably 15 feet away from where John O'Keefe's body was found. So it just doesn't make any sense.
So 15 feet away from where John O'Keefe's, and again, they have this idea. They're trying to sell this idea that they exploded. And here's the worst part about what they've done is that they didn't actually take photographs of all of the lens material that they collected from the site. So there's no actual way to map exactly where all of these pieces, these little bits of evidence, were dispersed. Because they should tell a story in the same way that blood splatter would. You would think that there would be experts who would be able to say, well, it would take this much of an impact, or this kind of, dragging, or whatever it might be. They'd be able at least to put forward hypotheticals to explain where these lenses, or why these lenses are, these bits of lenses are where they are. They didn't do that. They instead collected the evidence and said, yeah, it was just in the general vicinity. There's a guy dead on the grass, and you're not taking pictures of the evidence, man. Because you're like, I was picking it up, it was a cigarette butt there and everything.
They want people to
I know
believe.
it's not Boston. I'm not good at Boston.
They want people to believe that he was murdered by a taillight lens, when the taillight lens pieces were found like 20 feet away from where he was found. Yo, what are you complaining about, bro? We're just hanging. I don't know if that sounds really weird, because I don't know if people can even hear this dog.
Can you guys hear when the dog
moaning?
moans? When he goes, oh.
I don't know why he's moaning. He's been fed. He's been walked. He is empty. He's got all his friends around. He has a very comfortable bed. Some dogs you just can't make happy.
I'm sick of listening to these people talk, is what he's thinking.
Yeah,
Then
he's
shut
like,
up.
you guys shut up. Who cares about a
Fuck,
stupid
you guys aren't even
trial?
saying anything meaningful.
Oh, he's still talking about his 90s movie. Let it go.
Oh, let it go. Get over it, dude.
Get over
You're
it.
a loser. Get over it.
Erica says, but they found a clear cocktail glass in the snow right away.
Yeah, they found a clear cocktail glass in the snow. Like, that was easy. Oh, there it is. It's just a fucking...
Unbelievable. I feel so bad for her, because she must be like, okay, guys, these people can't be this stupid, can they? Am I going to go to jail?
How do you think... I wonder how many times... Oh, I just changed topics. I had to. My brain switched because I was like...
What happened?
Well, I just had this thing, and all of a sudden I was like, I wonder if... Leo's getting like, I wonder if some people have read the book in Cannes.
Oh no, he's definitely, if he's looking a little sour, it's because
it's because of Spain.
No, it's because the Diddy trial.
Diddy trial.
Also there's Spain. Guys, he has diamond foundry problems. He's got bigger problems.
Big problems.
He doesn't care about your book. Diddy's on trial, and he could name him.
I think he does. I think he cares.
Why are you bitching, bro?
I think it's incredibly interesting that nobody talks about Leonardo DiCaprio and Diddy anymore.
I don't think it's interesting. I think it's telling. I think that
that's pretty much what
I
I
think
mean.
he has a lot of control in his publicity, because why aren't people talking about him? He is a dude with a reputation for being a horn dog, and he was in the room with Diddy when he had
100% he was in the room. At least
No,
once.
I mean, he's photographed as being in the room.
He was at other parties.
Maybe not when crimes were happening, but why isn't he being talked about more? That makes no sense to me.
I don't know, man.
It's because he has really well-paid publicists. To smooth it over. Well, babe, how are you feeling?
Like $1 million fucking dollars. Dude, we've been live streaming on YouTube steady like Eddie. I don't know what that means. So I'm thrilled with that.
I'm so
let's
glad.
go. Let's go finish up our questions. I think we lost Tanner. Haven't seen Tanner in a bit.
Tanner's depressed because of hockey.
Oh man, he's still got baseball. Oh, I haven't even look at. There's all kinds of Tanner in here, and we haven't talked to Tanner at all tonight. I would say that we are at 6 months. I feel of live streams. Yeah, it's been close to that, Tanner. Yeah, Tanner's been here from fucking day one. Isn't that awesome? You're the greatest, dude. I really, really appreciate you. You would not believe. You got people that will help you here. Yeah, man, you're the awesomest.
Mandy said the dog has main character energy. He wants to be the main character of the show.
Who does?
The dog.
Yeah, the dog is main
groaning.
character energy.
He's like, and another thing.
Yeah. I get, I think one of the reasons why I never did anything with YouTube or any of this like social media before is because I was kind of worried about like trying to be the main character. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's such a. But what I do love about it is like what we're doing is that we're just talking shit, and it's just like to me that's just way more fun than me like taking it too damn serious. Even though I want to get into the 5, creative questions, and I want to create that lovely content as well.
We could just make those videos.
Right here, right now, like this. It's just easy.
You want to just do that like tomorrow or something?
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. But we're going to definitely do it.
Mrs. Strawberry wants to know, how does hair and glass stay on a bumper on a highway in snow and melting snow?
In a blizzard.
Nobody knows the
In a
answer to that
straight
question.
blowing like snow blizzard.
Nobody knows.
And it's his car.
No, it's her car.
I mean, it's her car. Who cares? I mean, it's their car. I mean, it's not like he wasn't always in it.
It's so convenient, isn't it, that they found a single hair that's not even like stuck to it, just kind of like as if like it drifted down like a feather and just like settled. You can see it clearly in the photographs. I hope the jury doesn't fall for this. There's a piece of glass that's just sitting on the bumper. Like there's no way that would have stayed there that whole time. And what are they trying to do?
Although
Put a piece of a cocktail glass
I have seen cars with cocktails on them that like go. Like,
oh,
make
I
it all the way
know,
home.
and I'm sure no shards of that cocktail make it all the way home on the back bumper.
No.
In a blizzard.
No.
After being towed.
No, it's patently absurd.
Wow, that was so sad.
It's so sad. Did you guys hear that one?
I know, he sounds like Leo
He's
in
like,
Can.
nobody's paying attention to me. I'm a dog.
Do you have diamond foundry problems too, bud?
I think I'm a bigger problem than you think. To Leo.
Well, I know you, and I know you're not trying to make problems for people, so I don't believe that you are.
I'm not trying to make problems. Yes, I am trying to make problems for him. I want this fucker to give me back my movie. I want this fucker to be held accountable.
You want a lawyer to make problems
Do you know
for
what's
him.
interesting about my situation and what makes my situation kind of like infuriating to me is that people don't really give a shit that this guy ruined my life. If he had taken my life, they would care.
Hey.
But it wasn't that much different. And I know that sounds like a crazy statement to make, but it really wasn't. It wasn't until I crawled out of the misery that was my life because of this guy that I started reclaiming myself. And I still had to go through suicidal ideation. I still had to go through an incredible amount of grief and pain just to get back to normal, to a reasonable baseline that could be considered normal, still abnormal from the day before those guys did what they did to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm trying to fucking make trouble. There are people paying for my movie all over the world, and I don't get a damn dime of it. And I poured my heart and soul into that movie, but I'm also entitled to it because it's literally my only compensation. So yeah, man, I'm making fucking trouble. Look at these sleeves; they're rolled up. See that? Fucking let's go.
All right, well, I think the dog is
Insisting.
through.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had our first smooth YouTube live stream. And for those of you on TikTok, please come check us out on YouTube because it is going to be a better experience. I think we'll eventually be able to match that experience on TikTok once TikTok gives me the Steam key, but they're trying to make me sign with an agent to get it, and I don't want to do that. So at 10,000 followers on TikTok, we're going to go live with the full studio, TikTok studio version. But until then, we're just going to do mobile phones. So you're going to be hearing not the best sound. However, you go over to the YouTube channel, Too Real with Dale Wheatley, or at Too Real Live, and you can join that channel. You can follow us there. We're going to have a good time. Good night, Mandy in the UK. Good night, Jenna. Good night, everybody. Tanner, Erica, Dr. Strawberry, Dr. Susan, Delicate, 100 times to Delicate. She's so kind to me.
Like I said, Dr. Strawberry. It's Mrs. Strawberry.
Mrs. Strawberry, Dr. Susan.
To us, she's a doctor.
Who is? Is she?
Jenna said good night from Delaware.
Good night from Delaware. Good night to Delaware. Good night from Georgia, guys. I can't thank you enough. See you guys tomorrow for another smooth stream. Good night.
Good night, guys.